Lena Morales became a student of joy the way other people become students of wine, jazz, or suspiciously expensive skincare. With genuine curiosity, escalating commitment, and a growing budget problem. At 26, she had majored in neuroscience because she wanted to understand why human beings could taste happiness one moment and emotionally fold like patio furniture the next. She learned about dopamine pathways, reward circuitry, limbic feedback loops, and the chemical ballet behind motivation and pleasure. It was fascinating. It was also, in practice, not especially helpful at 1:12 a.m. when she was lying awake wondering why she still felt vaguely hollow after doing all the fun things. She tried supplements first: powders, capsules, nootropics, adaptogens, compounds whose labels looked like they had been designed by a committee of earnest raccoons. Some made her alert. Some made her calm. One made her feel passionately interested in reorganizing a kitchen drawer. None delivered joy in the durable, radiant way she wanted. Then came the party years, or, more accurately, the party experiments. Rooftops, loud bars, music festivals, after-parties full of beautiful people performing freedom while quietly unraveling. She did, technically, experience highs, but they arrived with invoices, exhaustion, regret, emotional static, net loss. It was like renting joy from a very unethical lender. Romance didn't solve it either. Lena had hoped relationships would provide that glowing inner coherence everyone in curated Instagram reels seemed to possess between vineyard vacations and captions about safe love. But relationships, she discovered, were not designed primarily as joy vending machines. They could be beautiful, meaningful, refining, tender, hilarious. But if you demanded that another human become your fountain of delight, you mostly ended up dehydrated and unfair. So she kept searching. Then, on a rafting trip in Colorado, the river answered by nearly killing her. A guide called the section manageable. This was technically true in the same way a tornado is manageable if you are a barn. A raft flipped in a violent stretch. Lena was thrown, pinned, dragged under, and swallowed by current so cold and strong it felt personal. She fought, lost orientation, and in the final seconds before consciousness slipped, all striving vanished. Then she was somewhere else. The realm she entered was more vivid than earth, more solid than stone, more alive than breath. Nothing there felt abstract. Reality there had density, music, meaning. And Jesus was there, not as an idea, not as symbolism, present, radiant, calm in the way oceans would be calm if they loved you. He taught her without hurry, and yet it all arrived at once. Joy, he showed her, is activated by operating in truth, not in fantasy, not in chemically manipulated spikes, not in forcing outcomes. Truth. That he was with her always, guiding her always. That trusting him in everything aligned her spirit with the Holy Spirit, and when that alignment happened, hope opened like a fountain. Joy was not something she had to hunt through chaos. It rose naturally where trust and truth met. He showed her that her mind had been overburdened by self-management. She had spent years trying to engineer delight, curate safety, optimize experience. But if he was truly faithful, leading, providing, protecting, inspiring, then she was free. Free to notice, free to receive, free to enjoy. Matthew 7:11 burned in her with living clarity. If imperfect humans know how to give good gifts, how much more does the Father delight to give wonderful gifts to His children? When Lena woke in the hospital, she was bruised, half drowned, and deeply offended by gelatin. Rehab was slow and painful. Muscles screamed. Sleep got weird. Walking felt like an argument some days. And yet, to the confusion of physical therapists and one especially serious nurse, Lena laughed constantly. Not because pain disappeared, because trust had entered. She started treating each day as authored. Jesus had her exactly where she was supposed to be, even here. So instead of spending all her energy resisting the moment, she looked for His guidance in it. She noticed the gift stream. A hilarious roommate in rehab with zero inner filter. A nurse who smuggled in good coffee. Sunlight on the floor at 8:17 a.m. A timely conversation. A wave of peace before hard exercises. The sudden strength to endure. Provision arriving before she even thought to worry. Her mind, no longer enslaved to managing everything, became available for gratitude. And gratitude became strangely intelligent. It sharpened her vision. She saw people more clearly, received conversations more deeply, enjoyed ordinary provision like it was heaven leaking through the seams. Hope stopped being a slogan and became atmosphere. By the time she returned to normal life, she no longer thought joy was hidden in intensity, chemistry, romance, or circumstances behaving politely. She had learned something far better. The epitome of joy is trusting God unconditionally, believing He is faithful to lead, provide, protect, and inspire. That trust frees the mind, and a freed mind starts noticing the endless stream of gifts that was there all along. Lena had once studied joy like a lab subject. Now she lived inside it. And to her delight, it turned out to be less like a spark and more like a fountain.